Alright everybody, welcome back to Super Metroid Redesign Axeil Edition Final Version. We have just been granted access to Turian, and are now beginning our descent into what is essentially the final third of the game. Yes, I said third. Well, I'll just let you look at the map. Turian is huge. And it's a gigantic maze. Like, it could very easily be its own hack. Thankfully, there's a convenient ammo reload right here. And before we go through that door I just opened, we're actually going to head up here. Because one thing about Turian, you hear that noise? Those are instant death lasers. And in order to get past them, you have to destroy Zebatites that are scattered throughout Turian. Oh, also Metroids. And Metroids, in order to unlatch them from you, have to be hit with 4 bombs. Alright, so now over here is our first Zebetite. They only die to ammo, and if you try to use supers on them, your super rate of fire is barely fast enough to completely waste all your supers without actually killing one, as you can see. So you have to use normal missiles on them. But this is only one of the ways that Redesign punishes you for trying to use good ammo. As you might notice, I have Screw Attack. Well, Screw Attack doesn't do anything to pirates. So, Redesign actively punishes you for collecting Screw Attack in the final stage of the game. Now, thankfully, Rinka spawns. Screw Attack does kill Rinkas. It doesn't really protect you from Metroids. So, honestly, there's not really much of a reason to have Screw Attack equipped. And then I'm going to go through here. But the goal here is to disable all of the giant, or all of Turian's instant death lasers, so that you can proceed into the second half of Turian. Also, while you're going through, you need to make your way through Metroid rooms. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah, by the way, power bombs don't do anything to Metroids. Okay. Also, there are ammo checks all over the friggin' place, as you can see. And enemies might deign you with a weapon drop. And every so often you'll come across a room like this, where a Zebetite is blockaded by a death laser. Those will come into play later. In case you're wondering, there are no items in Turian. Fortunately, despite how aggressive Metroids are, once you hit them with the 4 bombs, they are stunned momentarily, giving you time to actually freeze them and kill them. And sometimes you can get them in such a way that you can actually freeze them before they latch onto you. Most of the times, though, you're not going to be able to do that, so you're just going to have to understand that you're going to lose a tank or more of health due to these things. Now, there's 2 types of Metroid rooms. There's the 2 Metroid room, and then there's the 3 Metroid room. A 2 Metroid room requires you to only kill 4 Metroids before... it requires you to kill 4 Metroids, basically 2 waves of 2 before moving on. A 3 Metroid room requires you to kill all 3 of them at the same time. If you don't kill all 3 of them at the same time, they respawn. And the door will not unlock until you kill 3 Metroids at once. So... now, the trick in Super Metroid is, respawning enemies do not respawn as long as their drops are still on screen. So what you need to do is you need to kill all 3 Metroids or kill the 3rd Metroid while the other 2's drops are still on the still on the screen. And then every so often, you'll start getting one, and then the other one will just fly in whether you want it to or not, and completely screw up your... Oh, jeez, are you kidding me? And then and the way that they are programmed is that they will position themselves a certain distance from you at all times. So this can cause them to go into walls. And make it so that you can't actually hit them. Because isn't that great? Oh, jeez. It's a 3 Metroid room, isn't it? Yeah, it's a 3 Metroid room. As soon as you freeze one, the other 2 immediately attack. See what I said? You gotta kill all 3 of them before... or stuff like this will happen. There we go. I am really glad I had enough supers to do that. Or rather, the super cooldown wore off fast enough to let me do that. There we go. Okay. That room's done with. And another... This is a 3 Metroid room. There we go. Alright, now that that's over and done with... Oh wait, I already went through here. Don't need to go through there again just yet. Ah. Oh, can't go through there yet because I need to kill that. I need to break that particular Zepatite so I can get past that death laser. Yeah, they're all over the place. As I mentioned, Turian is a gigantic maze starting off. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to refill my ammo and I'm going to save. Because I've already done quite a bit of progress in here and I don't want to lose it to a bad Metroid room. Thankfully, they do not respawn, or the Metroids do not respawn once you clear a room. So, you are free to leave and come back, which you will be doing multiple times over the course of this, because there is not enough ammo in the game to open every purple door and kill every Zepatite. And that's after having reduced the number of purple doors in Turian for version 1.52. So, yeah, fun. Alright. So here we go again into another Metroid room. Oh, as you might have noticed as well, while you are being latched on by a Metroid, your movement is basically like you are suitless underwater, and you can't fire. See? I can't fire anything. All I can do is morph and lay bombs. Hi, how you doing? I'm getting wrecked by Metroids. And this was the gate that we opened earlier when I first came into Turian from that particular switch. Because otherwise that Zepatite would have been blocked, and that breaks this particular death laser, which gives us an ammo check. Into a room we can't do anything about. Isn't that great? Thanks, Drew. That room will come into play later. Actually, I don't want to go through here just yet. I want to go up through here, which Automorph doesn't work on. You have to keep an eye out for all the different morph tunnels, because they generally will lead you to a lot of the early Zepatites. I can't go this way, so I just did that for nothing. I can't go that way either. It's basically the Turian from 1.4. At least so far. Yeah, I can't do anything here just yet. So that pathway was a waste of time. Cool. Alright, so I guess we are going this way, and there was a Metroid that latched onto me anyway, even though I knew it was coming. Interestingly enough, that door is open, despite having never gone through it. Oh, great, it's a 3 Metroid room! Ah! Also, another really annoying thing is you can never have more than 2 Metroids lashed on you at the same time. So, in the 3 Metroid rooms, you can't just stun all 3 at the same time. Can't go anywhere, or can't do that room. Up here, can't do this room. Oh yeah, no, it was a... Yeah, it was a thing. Alright, can't do anything here yet. Because right now the main goal is to break the 4 death lasers below, directly below that room, so that I can access the feeding pit, which is the second half of Turian. Okay, now... Yeah, the wall jumping's kind of annoying. Metroids! Oh, jeez. Come on, get away from me. Ah, whatever. There we go. Alright, those guys are dead. So now I can go through here. This takes me into this room, which I don't believe I can do anything. Nope, that's the entrance to the feeding pit right there. And we're surrounded by death lasers, so we're not going to bother going through there. And as you can see, Screw Attack does nothing. If you hit a Metroid from above with Screw Attack, it will deflect them, but if you hit them from below, they will latch onto you. And your beam... Oh, and this is a reason why beam combo is a requirement for this hack. If you do not have beam combo equipped, Ice Beam will not freeze a Metroid unless you charge it. Also, that right there is a very tiny indicator that there's a path through here, which, by the way, you can't do anything with. And I just screwed up. So now I have to go through this whole thing again. Thankfully, all the Metroids are gone this time. That reminds me, I need to get around to finishing Persona 3. I just haven't really felt like sitting down to play it. I got kind of burned out on Persona 5, unfortunately. It was a really good game. Alright. I'm not gonna bother killing these guys because they don't do anything. That sounds like a problem with your emulator, not necessarily redesign. Alright, so got another ammo check here. I believe this is just a room I can't do anything with currently. Yep. Can't do anything in that room. Thanks for the damage boost. Alright, so now we have the first bit of headway into the path. So now I need to circle back around, and I'm going the wrong way. And in case you're wondering, no, you can't go there from above. Or from below, rather. You have to come in from above, which is back through here. Thankfully, unlike vanilla Super Metroid, Rinkas do actually drop items on rare occasions, so you can refill off of them if you desperately need to. Nope, not this room. Next room. This is the room. Now the death laser here has been disabled, so we can drop down to here. Break these two Zebatites. I have used SNES 9X. I've had weird results with it. Like, sometimes it doesn't properly register diagonals on the controllers I use, so I tend to not use it. I know it's a better emulator. It's just, I've been using ZSNES for the past, like, almost 20 years? Or no, it hasn't been 20 years since it came out. I've been using ZSNES for more than 10 years, let's put it that way. Back since I first started playing or emulation of old Super Nintendo games. I mean, jeez. Back when I was still in high school, I was using ZSNES. Alright, so save, and back in we go. Alright, so now that we've gotten... actually, let me see here. I need to remember how to get back up to that point, or those two blockades. Yeah, it really only happens with like I've really only noticed it happening with diagonals. then again, I haven't actually used ZSNES, or not ZSNES, but SNES 9X in probably like 4 or 5 years. Alright, so that broke the first of the 4 death lasers blockading the feeding pit. Oh, let's not die to this guy. Ow. Alright, so, and then through here, I believe this one should be open now. Yep. Okay, good, it's open. Oh, there really needs to be a energy recharge station earlier in Turian. You missed the death of Ridley and the first bit of Turian. Metroids! Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. I might die. That happens. I'm not that... I mean, if you miss a little bit of it, I'm not that concerned about it. You can always watch the replays, you can always rewind, whatever's most convenient. Alright, so now... Oh, there needs to be a lot of things in Turian. Oh. I mean, technically, with the ammo refill station, there you can crystal flash as necessary, but crystal flashing doesn't really... It is very inconvenient, let's put it that way. Alright, through here takes us to this room that I can't actually do anything in yet, I don't think, if I remember correctly. Oh, well, I can at least open this. I can't open that lower gate until that death laser goes away, so we'll have to come back here later. You cannot... Drew actually reprogrammed the Metroid rooms that while Metroids are active, you cannot crystal flash. Because apparently doing so screws up the palettes in the room and makes the graphics go wonky. Come on. All right, so now it's through here. Oh, it's a... Ow. It's a room I can't do anything in. Oh, jeez. Alright, there should be some more Metroids right there. Get out of the acid, Samus. There's one more Metroid in this room. Come on, where are you? There you are. Oh, jeez. There we go. Okay. Oh, right. This doesn't actually... Yeah, alright. should lead me to the third death laser. Yeah, here we go. Oh, can't go that way. These are probably shot blocks. Nope, they're actually bomb blocks. Amazing. Drew does listen to feedback. Alright, that's 3 of the death lasers down. Well, I normally stream on Thursdays, at least when I'm not on impromptu hiatus, but... yes, as far as I'm aware, that Metroid is still there. It was there in 1.52, and this is either 1.52 or final. We haven't exactly decided that yet. The reason why is because it has... The patch I have has the file date of the 1.52 patch, but I downloaded it directly from Drew's website like 3 or 4 days ago, and he swears up and down that it is the final version. So, yeah. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm just replaying 1.52 or if I'm actually playing the final version at this point. Well, no, because he actually did change some things. He just... I don't know. Alright, where am I? Oh, okay. Not this way. This way. Whew. Okay. This video's getting a little long, so... Oh, actually no. I should be able to... This video's only half an hour so far. Yeah, I can at least finish the first half of Turian and get to the feeding pit before I split this video off. Just need to remember where exactly I need to go. Okay, I know where I'm going now. So we need to circle back around. Avoid the pirates if possible. It's usually not possible to avoid the pirates, because they're very conveniently placed that if you're just randomly screw attacking through doors like that, you're just going to slam right into one, and it's going to knock you out of screw attack, because you can't have nice things in this hack. Ow. Alright, so I think... Is it down here I want to go? Yes. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, this is where I want to go. Oh, trust me, this isn't even the worst of it. And up here... Be careful, if you fall down there, it's a one-way ticket because there's a crumble block. And that is the last death laser. We can now enter into the second half of Turian, the feeding pit. Thankfully, there's an energy recharge station right here. Oh no, absolutely not. I will not race this hack. That's just asking for a bad time. Before I go into the feeding pit, however, I am going to refill my ammo, preferably not by face-checking pirates. Alright, so we're about to enter into the feeding pit. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we will begin. Alright, see you in a little bit.